his expenses paid and a car. Kansas City Star, that's what I are. Your lead lady.
We are underway, game 2, and from the end zone, it is Quentin Demps, knocked out short of the 23-yard line.
I'm really excited to watch this offense in week number 2 here, and Dallas will be a much bigger challenge defensively for these Kansas City Chiefs. But I know one thing I'm doing early in this game, Chris, if I'm Kansas City offensively. And look, Monty Kiffin, it's all the same defensively for the Dallas Cowboys and all the stuff that they run. We also know Monty Kiffin, as the defensive coordinator at USC, had big challenges with the read option. We're going to see it early in this game.
The Chiefs won the toss. They wanted the ball first and have it from their own 23-yard line with Alex Smith and Jamal Charles in the backfield from the shotgun. Alex Smith keeps it. And Tim, just as you mentioned, a healthy pickup. One of the better running quarterbacks, underrated in that department. They didn't get the ball to Dwayne Bowe a lot in their opener because of double coverage, but he could be a big factor today at the receiver spot.
Yeah, no question. And I'll still say this, the best player on this offense is Jamal Charles. They need to get him more than 20 touches in this game today. Eric Fisher, the rookie right tackle, has had a nice start to his career. He'll have his hands full. They will move DeMarcus Ware around and get him matched up on the rookie tackle.
Youngest starting offensive line in the NFL. On second down, this time Smith goes the other way. Out of bounds. It'll be third down for Kansas City against a Dallas defense that is under the Monty Kiffin 4-3, and Anthony Spencer will see him today. George Selvey gets the start again for the second straight week at the end.
Selvey and Hayden both played well last week. Now they are backups, and they'll have their hands full against this Kansas City unit across the board. All 5 guys solid.
On third down and 3. From the 30. Smith completes. First down, Kansas City. That's one-time Cowboy, Anthony Fasano.
And they are going to force the tempo at the line of scrimmage, and it makes perfect sense. And it's a real indicator, Chris, at least in my mind, of the great command Alex Smith already has here in this Andy Reid offense.
They have hurried to the line after a 12-yard pickup from their own 42. Smith, Charles, wide open spaces for Jamal Charles. Knocked out at the 41 of Dallas.
So much of the Andy Reid offense is about clear-out routes. And Dwayne Bowe, who is a big target for sure, is going to run out here and take defenders with him. Look at all the space for the check-down throw to Jamal Charles, who in space is wicked good and picks up the first down.
Coming off a quad injury that limited his play in the victory over Jacksonville, but he looks good here. An 18-yard pickup after the catch and carry. So at the 40 of the Cowboys.
50, 50, 50. Great 15.
We're going to have a timeout. Kansas City calling it.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
With Tim Ryan, Chris Myers here at Kansas City, and a new lease on life for one-time 49er Alex Smith, who said he had never seen such detail and play installation as he saw here with Andy Reid.
Which is a huge statement. I covered Alex a lot out in San Francisco, and that offense was as detailed as anything. This offense fits him like a glove. And from day one, the way John Dorsey got him on this football team with Andy Reid, just a perfect fit.
Donnie Avery gets knocked down at the 38 of Dallas. It'll be second down. Barry Church came up from the safety spot. He had the big fumble return for his first NFL touchdown last week in the victory over the Giants.
Yeah, he and Sean Lee just played that perfect. You see the ambition of this Kansas City team. They want to get this Cowboy defense running. They want to get them tired. We've seen the hurry-up stuff. We've seen all the plays out to the perimeter that gets all those big guys running for that Dallas defense, gets them tired.
Second and 8. Passes for Bo. He falls down at the 30, and he held on. Skandrick was right with him because Morris Claiborne has that shoulder injury. And
well, perfect throw in terms of the ball location. This is where Alex Smith has really improved. I mean, it's good coverage on the back end on the slant route to Bo, but that is right on the numbers where only his guy can go get it.
And right at the first down marker. So from the 30-yard line, the drive continues for the hometown Chiefs. And Alex Smith at his first taste as a Kansas City Chief here in the home opener. He said he's been here as an opponent, and it's crazy.
What did he say? Didn't go too well for him in those two matchups here.
So far, so good in red. He's going to keep it and heave it. Knocked away, intended for Bo. Will Allen from his safety spot.
And that's not a good throw. That throw came out late and was behind, and Will Allen should have picked it off. A little play action, little half roll. Look at Will Allen. He's all over it to undercut it. Pretty decent effort there by Dwayne Bowe to help break that ball up so it wasn't picked by Will Allen.
Will Allen did have an interception last week. Again, one of those 6 turnovers against the Giants.
And talking to Alex on Friday, he said he really liked his matchups in the middle of the field versus those safeties.
Second down 10, Jamal Charles runs into a wall. His helmet is off. Justin Durant, former Lion linebacker, helped apply the hit, but Jamal Charles is smiling from Port Arthur, Texas.
Yeah, watch this shot. I mean, this is a massive hit by Durant and knocking the helmet off. Was that Durant who hit him or Sean Lee? Hard to tell here. Let's see as the Cowboy defender comes in. I think it was Sean Lee. It was. Number 50, who just tattooed helmet to helmet Jamal Charles.
Third down and 10 from the 30. The Chiefs look like they move.
Yeah, that's the rookie Eric Fisher.
False start. Offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Anthony Spencer has checked in for the Cowboys, his first game of the season. That's one of the things with this hurry-up offense when it's noisy is your offense can make mistakes.
Absolutely, and as your defense can as well when the crowd's crazy because of the adjustments. That's a critical penalty, Chris, if they don't pick up yards here because it pushed them certainly further away from field goal range.
Right now you're looking at a 52-yarder. Jamal Charles splits out to the top of your screen as a wide receiver.
He's wide open. Nobody on it.
On 3rd and 15, Alex Smith is going to keep it. He's in field goal range, and he dives.
This is where Alex Smith has always been underrated as a runner. At Utah, they ran all kinds of read options. Look at these blocks he's getting down the field from his wide receivers. The one there, Dexter McCluster on I believe it was Will Allen, was critical to give Alex that space to lay out and pick up the first down.
First down from inside the 20 after a 17-yard run. Alex Smith runs again. Knocked down inside the 15 of Dallas. Bruce Carter coming up from the linebacker spot. Cowboys had 3 sacks last week and had 16 quarterback pressures. But Alex running the football has Jason Garrett's team back on their heels.
Now, as this game goes on, they better figure out how to get open with their receivers and let them throw it. I mean, as good as Alex is, you don't want your backup quarterback out in this game against these Dallas Cowboys. You're going to have to manage Alex's risk in terms of how many hits he's taken as a runner.
Smith is running again. The ball's out the end zone. They ruled him down before the ball came out. But if Dallas recovers, it's reviewable.
It sure looked like the ground caused the fumble from up here as Alex Smith fell forward.
Down by contact.
You see it right here perfectly. Yeah, that elbow is down. That is not a fumble.
They're going to hurry to the line. Ruled down by contact. First and goal after another run from Alex Smith. Charles, top of your screen as a receiver.
And Jason Garrett's putting the red flag back in his pocket. He saw it up on the Jumbotron. He will not challenge this.
End zone bounces it incomplete. Intended for Jamal Charles. Andy Reid has won more games against the Cowboys than any other head coach in NFL history.
Well, what did Monty Kiffin, the defensive coordinator at Dallas, tell us yesterday? Because we're not playing the Chiefs, we're playing Andy Reid. This is Andy Reid's offense. What I love about Andy is he's coaching again. I mean, this guy is down in it, day in and down out, and he is coaching football versus acting as the, general manager, personnel guy. It's reinvigorated him.
On second down, Alex Smith throws, and yes, touchdown Kansas City. Jamal Charles.
Classic Andy Reid. Watch all the receivers that go to the right. They just flood all of these zones, create spacing, and they're so close to the goal line. Alex Smith just dumps it off quick, and you're not stopping Jamal Charles when he gets the ball at the 1-yard line, and you're not within 2 yards of him.
Ryan Suckup with Dustin Colquitt, the holder. Chiefs take the opening drive. There's only 8 minutes and 13 seconds left in this opening quarter. But Alex Smith, he ran for 40 yards, he threw for 40 yards, and the touchdown to Jamal Charles.
Today's game is sponsored by Bud Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL.
Alex Smith, who said he made peace with the Bay Area, but after last year, it was time to move on and has found a new home with Andy Reid here in Kansas City. As Ryan Suckup is ready to kick off, Dwayne Harris back to receive for the Cowboys. Dallas's offense will take over for the first time today at the 20-yard line, and we'll get a look at Tony Romo and those bruised ribs against this Chief defense in a moment.
Today's game is sponsored by Lowe's. Lowe's, never stop improving. By Lexus, introducing a car designed with one purpose, to stand apart. The all-new 2014 Lexus IS. And by Microsoft Surface. Click in and do more.
Here at Kansas City, forecast for some afternoon thunderstorms. We had a brief rain shower within the hour, but the temperature comfortable here in this sea of red.
Is that why you didn't go down on the field for the hair effect with the rain? What happened to you?
I went down there earlier to say hi.
Before it started raining.
Jerry Joe. Yeah, the minute it rained, I ran upstairs. I gave Jen Hale the umbrella. I said, look out for Hale. From the 20-yard line. First down, Cowboys. DeMarco Murray. He's in trouble. Derek Johnson, the most tenured Chief, made the tackle as we check the Cowboy weapons. Des Bryant, who often sees double coverage. Jason Witten already with a couple of touchdowns.
Big emphasis in the offseason. Jason Witten in the red zone being a factor, and that was obvious with the 2 touchdowns. This offensive line, that rookie, Travis Frederick, played really well against the Giants. Jason Garrett told us it's the best they have pass protected up front in 4 years. They're going to need that same kind of effort today.
From the 18-yard line, Romo's throw is caught on the sideline, and what a grab by Des Bryant. He's in Chief territory. And there goes Des Bryant. All the way inside the 30 of Kansas City, and that was a muscle grab of a catch.
I'm not so sure it wasn't too much muscle, and they don't call pass interference.
There is a flag down at the 35-yard line.
And let's see, Flowers is looking at the ball.
Pass interference. Defense, number 24. That proves implied. The result of the play is the first down.
And here's the throw. Tony Romo taking a chance versus good coverage, but Flowers is looking at the ball, but certainly as he was falling down, had an effect on Des Bryant, who was able to go get the ball anyway. Another big play, which is a statement for these Dallas Cowboys offensive players.
A 53-yard gain inside the 30 of Kansas City. This is DeMarco Murray, and he goes nowhere. Now, Tony Romo did say, despite double coverage, we have some things designed to get the football to Des Bryant, but they do want more balance, and that means the running game.
They're going to need to feed DeMarco Murray the football today and be successful on the early downs. They get into third and long. You've already heard this crowd today. They'll have an impact. I just love the fact that Tony Romo saw the one-on-one coverage to Des Bryant and took a shot. He doesn't see it a lot.
Romo is brought down by Dontari Poe.
Well, the light has come on for this guy, Dontari Poe. And look at that, just stepping up to the outside shoulder of the center right there, and then just shooting right back across his face. That is unreal at 340 pounds. Dontari Poe can move like that, and finally reaching expectations, Chris, to how high he was drafted. That was a huge play.
Des Bryant on third down. It'll be fourth down. Let's check in for a game break with Kurt Menefee.
Well, Minnesota rookie Cordero Patterson took the opening kickoff 105 yards to put the Vikings up. Bears came right back. Jake Cutler, 2. Martellus Bennett, 1-yard score. It's tied at 7. Chris and Tim.
Thanks, Kurt. We had trouble hearing you with the Chief fans making a lot of noise. That drive stalled after the sack of Romo. And now a 51-yard field goal try, or at least they're going to line up for Dan Bailey, who has made 3 51-yarders in his career. That's his career long. Yeah, Cowboys are going to use a timeout.
Look at that play clock. How big was that sack now when you think about it with Dontario Poe pushing him further away from the goal line?
Dontario Poe is a guy who Bob Sutton, defensive coordinator, said he's so well conditioned for a big man. And Poe is the guy who said that even though I'm in Kansas City, I had to lay off the barbecue.
I think the thing that's remarkable about him, and he's got all the skill sets, and really was the reason why, Chris, he was drafted so high. But he plays every down at 340 pounds, runs sideline to sideline. And as they said in the heat in Jacksonville last week, he never got tired.
He was in on 86% of the plays last week in the victory over Jacksonville for Kansas City. And let's talk about what you've seen from Tony Romo so far. No indication that the ribs are bothering him?
No, well, he got hit the one time on the sack by Dontario Poe, and he did take the injection. I just like the fact he's not going to see a lot of one-on-one matchups with Des Bryant out on the perimeter. He was able to diagnose it pre-snap, and then after the snap, continued to see it and gave his receiver a chance to make a big play, and it worked out.
51-yard try. The kick is through. So each team on their first possession, they get points. And Jason Garrett likes 3 at this point, trailing in Kansas City.
Boy, Jason Garrett, who is now obviously, a bigger role as not calling plays as an offensive coordinator and making the head coaching decisions. That was a risky one right there. I think he's just got so much confidence in his kicker, Dan Bailey. If they don't make that, Kansas City takes over at the 41-yard line.
Bailey kicking off here. He's made now 6 field goals of over 50 yards as Quentin Demps has to down it in the end zone. Chiefs will have the football for the second time with a 7-3 advantage over the Cowboys. Alex Smith, one time a #1 overall draft pick, and since 2011 or 2011, no quarterback has a higher winning percentage than Alex Smith when he has had the opportunity to play. The former 49er with a 7-3 advantage from the 20-yard line.
Well, they are clearly intent on spreading out this Dallas defense with these spread formations.
Jamal Charles, who already has a touchdown catch, is bottled up. Sean Lee, middle linebacker, making the play for the Cowboys.
Really well done by Sean Lee, and rightly so, got that big contract. Watch him just sift in there and keep his eyes on Jamal Charles and stay able to stay with him and stay with that speed and get a tackle for loss.
Loss of 1, 2nd and 11. of the field. Dexter McCluster will be short of the first down. He's the third receiver.
Alex Smith's had a lot of looks, Chris, at the cover 2 defense. And Dallas doesn't run as much of it under Monty Kiffin as people think. But certainly they did that time, and Alex picked them apart.
Sunday!
On third and short, they rush to the line. Smith's throw is batted down, incomplete, but there's a flag down. Jason Hatcher is the one who got his hands up on the football.
Illegal hands to the face. Offense. 10-yard penalty. Third down.
As we look here, we'll see where the penalty is. Hands to the face. Oh, yeah, it's right there with the right guard. John Asamoah. Now, as an offensive lineman, you can get your hand up to the face, but you've got to pull it out right away. You can't leave it in there and grab and rattle the cage, as Asamoah did there.
Cowboys declined the penalty after the Hatcher batted pass. Fourth down, so Dustin Colquitt, the Pro Bowl punter, who's been here 9 years. And back to return for the Cowboys, the NFC Special Teams Player of the Week, Dwayne Harris. Colquitt had one blocked last week against Jacksonville. The only points the Jags got against this Chiefs team. Harris has it, slips a tackle. Dwayne Harris fighting up near the 45-yard line of the Cowboys, where Tony Romo, the offense, will take the field. On first down, DeMarco Murray gets up near midfield. The healthiest run of the day for the Dallas Cowboys. Let's check in down on the field with Jen Hale. Hi, Jen.
Well, hello, Chris. I tell you what, Tony Romo's bruised ribs don't seem to be bothering him at all. He was on the sidelines eating a granola bar before the Cowboys' opening drive. He is wearing his normal padding around his ribs, but it's what he's worn since 2011. He says, hey, after playing with broken ribs, today's nothing, Chris.
Thanks, Jen. On second down, 5. Romo from the shotgun. DeMarco Murray slices for a first down inside the 45 of Kansas City. You know, Tony Romo played a few seasons ago with a cracked rib, and when he came off the field Sunday night with the Giants, he said right away, look, I'm hurt, but it's not as serious as what I've been through. And he was telling us, Tim, it seems like every year I have to deal with rib injury.
And this one's different, as he said. He'll go 3 or 4 plays, and it feels good, and then, ow, he'll do something, and you just got to be able to manage that. I think getting the ball out quick in terms of their ambition will be part of that today.
4 wide receivers in for the Cowboys from the 44 of Kansas City. Romo going deep for Dez Bryant. Oh, he leaps for it. That is a catch for Dez Bryant, and the Cowboys are hustling up to the line.
Not so sure that ball didn't hit the ground and bobble a little bit before it was deemed a catch. That's what it looked like from up here. Dez Bryant lays out, goes down. Did he have his arm under that football? This may be worthy of a challenge if you're Andy Reid.
On first and goal, no challenge, end zone throw, caught. No touchdown. Dez Bryant right at the goal line. He gives the signal, but nothing from the official yet. Wise of Romo to get that offense upfield and snap the ball before Andy Reid could get a look and try and challenge.
And the look that I think they got here at the Jumbotron, Andy did not get a good look at it. As you said, Tony speeding up the process and getting the ball snapped. Hard to do when you make such a long play like that.
So now second and goal from the 1. Seems like both sides are a little unsure what's going on personnel-wise.
I'll tell you the beauty of Tony Romo, knowing his #1 receiver. 3 times we've seen Dez Bryant isolated in this game one-on-one. All 3 times Tony Romo has gone to him.
Phil Costa in the block. No touchdown for DeMarco Murray. Let's take another look at that DeMarco Murray catch. I should say, I'm sorry, Dez Bryant hauled this in.
Boy, it is hard to see from that angle. Called a catch on the field. Probably no visual evidence to overturn it. What a great effort laying out for that ball. A little overthrown by Tony Romo. Awesome.
From the 2-yard line, it's now third and goal.
And Jason Witten told Des Bryant after the game last week, you won't be a #1 receiver, get used to that double cover.
3 wide receivers. Romo, end zone high, hauled in for the touchdown, Des Bryant. What patience Romo showed before finding 88 in the back of the end zone.
And not enough depth by the inside players to get in the throwing lane. This is so well done. You said it, patience. Look at that ball location. High, over the hands of the middle defenders. You see right there, Justin Houston, not enough depth, couldn't get his hands on it. Perfectly thrown ball from Tony Romo.
And what a drive from the Cowboys and Tony Romo to take the lead. Extra point by Bailey, who made the 51-yard field goal. And the all-time Cowboy touchdown pass leader, Tony Romo, just added another. Tim Ryan, Jennifer Hale, Chris Myers at Arrowhead for the Chiefs home opener, and the Cowboys respond as Tony Romo throws the touchdown to Des Bryant on the big pass play that they quickly ruled was a catch. Cowboys moved up to the line and were able to get it in on 3rd down.
And certainly wouldn't have been able to overturn it on review based on the visual evidence that was up there. I'll tell you what, if you're Bob Sutton, the defensive coordinator at Kansas City, you better change your plan a little bit and start getting 2 guys over 1 on Des Bryant. He's too good. He is going to smoke one-on-one coverage like he just did on that last series.
There's the kickoff. Quentin Demps back of the end zone. Kansas City takes over the 20-yard line. Tonight on Fox Sports Live, join Jay Onright and Dan O'Toole. They'll recap all the highlights from the NFL and everywhere else. Fox Sports Live at 11 Eastern on Fox Sports 1. And to find Fox Sports 1 on your provider, go to foxsports1.com. And we hope you tune in. Well, Dwayne Harris's return set up, made it a short field. It was only a 55-yard drive for the Dallas offense. And now Kansas City's offense with Alex Smith has some work to do. Alex Smith for Dwayne Bowe. He sits down at the 46-yard line of Kansas City, a 27-yard catch.
And that's what Alex Smith does at the line of scrimmage. He recognized that the safety was moving up in the box late. He knew he was going to have a seam route to the backside. Look at him look left, steer the safety, and just throw a laser to Dwayne Bowe to the soft spot of that 3-deep zone.
Clock running. And the opening quarter, one that has seen some explosive offense from each team at a noisy Arrowhead. Chiefs on the move, and that's the end of the first quarter. Cowboys 10, Kansas City 7. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after a break from your local Fox station. Alex Smith just completed his 239th straight game in an opening quarter without an interception. Drew Brees has the record at 241, followed by Rich Gannon. And that's saying something against this Cowboy defense that was takeaway crazy last week. From the 47 of Kansas City. On 1st down, he's throwing. Ball's out, incomplete. Pass intended for Donnie Avery. Let's check in on the Bears and Vikings with Kurt Menefee.
Well, Jay Cutler with 2 first-quarter touchdown passes. This one to Brandon Marshall. Remember that knee procedure he had? Forget about it. 34 yards on the score. Bears lead the Vikings 14-7, Chris and Tim.
Thanks, Kurt. The Chiefs hurry up and give it to Jamal Charles, who fights hard to get down to the 47-yard line of the Cowboys. It'll bring up 3rd and manageable for Alex Smith. Now, Jamal Charles, here's a guy.
Brandon Albert slow to get up out there, Chris, their left tackle. It looked like he was holding his left shoulder when he first went down. That would be a huge loss. Donald Stevenson, I think last year's 3rd rounder, would come in and play probably right, and Eric Fisher, the #1 overall pick, the rookie, would go to left if Albert can't play.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Pizza Hut. Make it great. By Bose, the official home audio sponsor of the NFL. And by Rush from director Ron Howard and based on the incredible true story. Rush in theaters September 27th.
Brandon Albert walked off the field under his own power. Donald Stevenson comes in for the former first-round draft pick on 3rd down and 4. Jamal Charles splits out as a receiver, top of your screen. And Smith is going to go down. Here comes a flag as Jason Hatcher buries Alex Smith.
Good pressure coming from both sides. Jason Hatcher gets the sack from here inside. Ware's also going to come there. And they both get a hit there on Alex Smith. Again, there is a penalty down right in the location of Scandrick and Dexter McCluster at the line of scrimmage. Boy, they're going to need that Jason Hatcher right there to be great in this defense all year.
There is no flag on the play for a defensive hold. The quarterback was sacked when the officials looked back. 4th down.
Andy Reid doesn't agree with the call, but Dustin Colquitt comes out to punt the football. Big stand by the Dallas defense.
And you think about that defense and Monty Kiffin running it. Who's the Warren Sapp that is vitally important is that guy rushing over the offensive guard. They don't have him, especially with Ratliff being injured on the PUP. But Jason Hatcher is a pretty good player and is going to, I think, have his best year with more pass rush opportunities.
Dwayne Harris from the 10 lets it bounce. And excellent special teams work by Kansas City. They down it inside the 5-yard line where Tony Romo and the Cowboys offense takes over. Well, Tony Romo has settled in, but Dez Bryant already 100 receiving yards after he was frustrated in the opener. Kansas City is going to have to double him up.
Well, Kansas City is taking their chances. They want to do so much inside in between the hash marks with their pressures that they play a lot of man coverage out on the perimeter. And Dez Bryant, Chris, has simply chewed him up. And Tony Romo has been able to diagnose the isolation coverage, throwing the ball to Dez Bryant. What's amazing, it's against their best cover corner by far, Brandon Flowers.
5 catches, 100 receiving yards, and a touchdown for Dez Bryant here in the 2nd quarter.
And if you've got to, if you're Bob Sutton, put 2 over 1 on him, it limits what you can do.
Romo looked at Dez Bryant and then went the other way at 2nd down.
I mean, this defense, it's really Rex Ryan's defense. Sutton was with the Jets. There he is, the defensive coordinator, been coaching forever. Andy Reid actually tried to get him in Philadelphia a few years ago and had permission denied. But this defensive scheme absolutely counts on those corners, playing press coverage, one-on-one, and winning, which allows them to do all the different stuff and different looks with the pressure packages in the middle of the field.
DeMarco Murray, maybe a yard, knocked back down on the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down from the Cowboy 5-yard line. We haven't seen a pass go in the direction of Miles Austin yet. And it was back in 2009 when he got his first start. Lit this place up with the Cowboy record in receiving yards.
I'll tell you one thing, if Coach Sutton of the Chiefs ends up going with the plan to put 2 guys on Dez Bryant, you're going to see it open up for Miles Austin. And Tony Romo's got full command of this offense. He'll see it, and you'll start seeing the ball distributed right there to number 19.
3rd down. Blitz is on, and it's incomplete. Romo and the offense never had a chance in that series.
Well, you get him. I talked about being in the 3rd and longs. That time 3rd and 9. And Bob Sutton, you're just going to see guys come off the edge here. Tabaha Ali comes inside unblocked. Abdullah, the safety, comes. Kendrick Lewis, the other safety, comes. Tony Romo just had to get it out.
Standing in his own end zone, Chris Jones and Dexter McCluster, who has a career punt return for a touchdown of 94 yards. Pushes him back inside the 35 of Kansas City, but with room. Midfield, brought down in Cowboy territory. A 60-yard punt, but then a 19-yard return sets up the Chiefs on offense, trailing by 3. Hank Strand coached the Dallas Texans back in the early 60s, and in 62, Dallas couldn't support 2 teams that were rivals there. Lamar Hunt brought the franchise to Kansas City in 63, and then they moved, and how they got their nickname, the mayor, H. Roe Bartle, who was nicknamed the Chief and was instrumental in bringing that team to Kansas City. That's why they named him the Chiefs.
I think instrumental, fast forward all these years, of getting Andy Reid here, because Andy had other opportunities in the offseason, as we talked to him the other day, and the Chiefs were kind of a late player in the game. He said when he got the call from the owner, it was like, wait a minute, these are the Chiefs, man. I mean, there's 4 or 5 storied franchises that Andy Reid would love to work for, and the Kansas City Chiefs are right at the top of the list.
You think of the Hunt family from Lamar to Clark, and have owned a franchise for more than 5 decades in the NFL. From the 48, Alex Smith goes down right into the arms of DeMarcus Ware, his first sack of the season.
I told you they were going to move DeMarcus Ware around. He's going to come from over here. Sherman's got to get out and block him to help out his quarterback. Bootleg action right here, and DeMarcus Ware just doesn't even take the bait. I mean, he was rushing the passer the whole way there and gets a big-time sack.
And Rod Marinelli of that defense had taped a cigar on the locker room door of DeMarcus Ware and saying, close but no cigar. He said, you had an interception last week, but I want a sack. Well, he just got one, and he got the cigar. On second down, Smith from the pocket. Chased by Hatcher. Completed on the sideline to Dexter McCluster, where it'll be 3rd down. Let's check in for another game break with Kurt Menefee.
Well, the Falcons signed O.C. Umenyiora from the Giants. Have him playing linebacker. Hey, they got him in the right spot. Ball tipped right to him. O.C. takes it 68 yards. First career interception, and he scores a touchdown in his 11th year in the league. 21-0. Chris and Tim.
Thanks, Kurt, for keeping us updated. The Redskins are losing, and so are the Eagles in their games. The Cowboys are smiling about that. On 3rd and 13.
Tell you that last rush, DeMarcus Ware is the one that got Alex uncomfortable with his bull rush.
Alex on the run. Floats one and incomplete. He was trying to get it to Cyrus Gray, who checked in at running back. It'll be 4th down. This Monty Kiffin 4-3 Dallas defense forces Kansas City into a punt situation once again.
And if Monty Kiffin can get that defense going against an offense that's facing those 3rd and longs, it just plays right into what he wants to do, because they're so good at their spacing on the back end in coverage, forcing the quarterback to unload it shallow and then rallying up and making the tackle.
3rd punt of the game here. Harris back at the 10-yard line as Colquitt boots it. Fair catch called for, and has it inside the Dallas 10-yard line. Cowboys have a 3-point lead, but here comes Romo on the offense.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by the 2013 Ford F-150 with EcoBoost.
Cowboys with the lead in the football. Let's check in down on the field again with Jennifer Hale.
Well, Chris, the Chiefs' Brandon Albert is now down in the locker room getting that left shoulder looked at a little more closely. He tried to raise his arms on the sideline, not able to do so, squared off against some teammates, was in obvious pain. So trainers are now doing further diagnosis, and he is questionable to return at this point, Chris.
And it was clear, you watch the hits on Alex Smith since Brandon Albert left the game, and I'll tell you why, because you use your best left tackle to block their best pass rusher. You try to count on leaving him on his own and doing all your protections to help out in other areas. Now they're going to have to go help out Donald Stevenson out at left tackle, which is going to leave Eric Fisher and the other offensive lineman one-on-one. Dallas got after him that last series.
Tony Romo on 1st down. A low catch made by the backup tight end, or I should say one of the 2 tight ends, James Hanna. Of course, Jason Witten, the go-to guy at that position over the years.
That's the first reception to any other player on this offense other than Des Bryant. through more than a quarter of play here.
I want to talk about Tony Romo and taking ownership of the offense. This is more than just Bill Callahan calling plays upstairs through Wade Wilson for Jason Garrett, the head coach, because it's something Tony's involved in all week in the game plan. On second down 8. For Dez Bryant, battling on the sideline. There's a flag down, and yes, he made the catch up near the 35-yard line.
This is just what you were talking about. Ownership of this offense. Tony Romo kills the play, knowing that he had the isolation one-on-one matchup with Dez Bryant. Gets it out to him, tiptoe catch.
Pass interference. Offense, number 88. Half the distance to the goal. Replay, second down.
They call it on Dez Bryant. That 88 reminded me of Michael Irvin, who used to get away with it.
Mike used to use the elbow a little bit more.
That's a big
Let's get a good peek at it right here. Outside release. There's the got both hands on him.
Beyond 5 yards.
He definitely had it beyond 5 yards, but I didn't see anything once that ball was up in the air that he pushed off offensive pass interference. That's a tough call.
Second and 14. They're back at the 6-yard line. DeMarco Murray has it. Back to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be third down.
I like what you said about Tony Romo, ownership of this offense. I think, Chris, that finally got the big contract, right, which I think took pressure off of him and realizing that not only is this my offense, it's going to be my offense for a long time to come. And I think where he's most effective is saying, well, that looks great on the chalkboard, but it looks better when we do it like this on the field. This is his team.
On third and 10 from the 10. Pass for Terrence Williams. And short of the first down, there was a sea of red coming after him.
Yeah, how'd you like to be Tony Romo standing inside this pocket with all this pressure coming right in your face? Two safeties and a corner come. Two safeties on one side. Brandon Flowers comes from the other. Tony Romo's trying to throw it through all that red. There's Bob Sutton there, the defensive coordinator.
Chris Jones standing at his 2-yard line. Dexter McCluster from the Kansas City 30. And McCluster gets up to the 45-yard line. Good field position for Kansas City. A 53-yard punt after the defense did its job against Tony Romo. Left tackle Brandon Albert back in for the Chiefs. Important, as Tim pointed out, with this ferocious Cowboy pass rush from the 45 of Kansas City. After the opening drive where they took it in for a touchdown, the Dallas defense has forced Kansas City to punt the last 3 times they've had the football. Jamal Charles gets a yard. He came in averaging over 5.5 yards a carry for his career. And you've talked about Monty Kiffin in this defense. At age 73, it's like he's out coaching Father Time. And Sean Lee said you don't notice anything about his age because of his daily passion and enthusiasm.
I said, how do you stay so fired up, Monty? Number one, he loves ball. He said, how can I not? In my office, right outside in the hallway, there's a picture of Staubach and Landry drawing a play up with chalk. Because I'm motivated every day just opening the office door and seeing that picture.
Bringing the 4-3, the Tampa 2. He would use all the terminology. It worked last week. Alex Smith keeps. Slides near the first down. Chiefs wanted a flag on a late hit, but nothing yet.
And really an awesome play call because they catch these guys slanting down. It's just the read option. Alex is going to turn, put it in the belly of the running back. He reads Anthony Spencer, who's squeezing down, and look at that huge lane out around the corner. And then, of course, playing it smart and sliding down before he takes a shot.
And Alex Smith is the leading rusher in this game, a game with Jamal Charles and DeMarco Murray. Orlando Scandrick in at corner. He started there. Morris Claiborne is the nickel today because of that shoulder injury. On first down. Smith straight ahead and slides when he saw trouble. George Selvey, who was out of a job, so the Cowboys called him to come in. And this front line of the Cowboys chasing Alex Smith on the ground all day.
Look at all these runs. This is the first play of the game. Read option. He keeps it himself. He picks up 4 or 5. Huge first down right there. He picked up with his legs. This one all the way down to about the 1-yard line. And, of course, moving the pocket, showing mobility, and finds the open running back, Jamal Charles, for the touchdown.
Inside the Dallas 45, Tim. Now it's 2nd down 9.
He'd have to get his tight ends going here pretty soon.
Anthony Fasano, the ex-Cowboy. We have a flag and a whistle. And it's a delay of game against the Chiefs. Took too long.
Boy, talking about those tight ends, I just watched Anthony Fasano come off the line of scrimmage.
Flag for the layup game. Kansas City called timeout. They're second. This is a 30-second timeout.
Correction, no delay of game. Andy saw it, beat the clock with a timeout, so the Chiefs have 1 remaining in the first half.
Let's keep our eye on Anthony Fasano. I saw him come off the line of scrimmage there on the snap, and he had a bad limp going.
And he is limping. I wondered, Tim, how they would play Alex Smith, Andy Reid, going against this Dallas defense, because in the opener, as well as the defense played with takeaways, the Cowboys gave up 450 yards to Eli Manning. All those passing yards, you figure maybe Alex would be able to take advantage.
I think the thing with Alex Smith, though, is much as we've talked about all of his accolades and super smart and the underneath passing game and managing risk, he's not and has never been a guy that drives it down the field looking for the explosive play. Eli Manning, those receivers that he has, that's a whole different animal that this Dallas defense had to contend with last week with all those big plays.
And last week, Alex Smith threw to 9 different receivers. He's at a career high point rushing now.
But only 2 of those pass completions were over 20 yards in that game last week against Jacksonville.
He has to throw on the run, incomplete. Now there was pressure trying to get it to Jamal Charles. Anthony Spencer, in his first game since that knee surgery back on July 25th. Didn't start, but is going to be worked back into the rotation on the defensive line until he can get his starting job back.
And you can tell by looking at him that he is a little bit, I want to say overweight, but thicker than he was over the last couple of years.
That's polite.
There's no way that 262 is accurate.
That's very polite of you. We all could shed a few pounds. Now 3rd down and 9. Extra pressure coming. Alex Smith goes down, and a flag goes down. DeMarcus Ware got there first.
And they're going to get a hold on top of it. Sean Lee coming like a battering ram right up the gut of that offense. Getting the inside pressure. Ware and the rest of the guys getting the outside pressure.
Offense, number 25. That penalty's declined. 4th down.
The call against Jamal Charles not needed with the sack.
The guy he's trying to block right there, Sean Lee, who comes unblocked. Basically just tackled him around his waist. Nowhere for Alex Smith to go with the ball. And the longer you get into those 3rd and longs, and Andy Reid knows this, you're going to have to hold the ball longer and let things develop. And that just plays right into what the Cowboys want to do with their pressure.
Dustin Colquitt to punt again. Cowboy defense forces the Chiefs drive to stall at midfield. Dwayne Harris back to receive. Fair catch called for right at the 10. Field position has been tough on the Cowboys, but they have the lead, and some of their fans are here as well. First down, Cowboys from their own 10-yard line, just over 6 minutes before the half. DeMarco Murray gets through the hole and up to the 15-yard line. Justin Houston, the AFC Defensive Player of the Week after a 3-sack performance against Jacksonville, was in on the tackle. It'll be 2nd down 5 for Dallas. Last year they ran the ball only 34% of the time. That's 2nd lowest in the NFL. Only Detroit ran it fewer.
And you know what? I think when you look at them, they don't have a traditional fullback on the roster. Right away, that tells me they're limited in their run game and probably their commitment to it. Romo complete. That's
DeMarco Murray for the first down up around the 25-yard line. Now, Murray had a career-high 8 catches last week, and when I asked Tony Romo if that was by design, he said no, that's part of the ownership of the offense. He said they just were doubling up Des Bryant. I had to go to the open guy.
Yeah, that's what I love about Tony. You look at him last week, and he is just running the offense. He's not trying to do too much. He's reading the coverage. If it's not there, Jason Garrett has been trying to get him really take ownership of this offense for the last several seasons. He's going to throw to the check down. Murray underrated in that area.
DeMarco Murray carries. So Jerry Jones, the owner of the Cowboys, was telling me that during the contract negotiation, you talked about that big deal that Romo got. He said that Romo told him, you know, I'd like maybe one day to be a coordinator or a coach, and I might not see that happen. And that's when the discussion began about involving him more in the play, not only play selection, but the game planning during the week. Jones said he tried to call Tony early in the morning on Tuesday, and he said he was in on his day off working on the game plan.
And the experience I have around all the great ones, they're all the first ones in and the last ones out in terms of the facility in the building.
On 2nd and 9, the pass is caught, and fighting for the first down, that's Miles Austin. Good memories of his first start here, and that's his first catch of the game.
He's going to throw the quick hitter to the outside, right on the blitz. Tony throws right into the teeth of it to Miles Austin, and actually gets a nice block there from Gavin Escobar, who cleared it out to get him the first down.
Escobar, the rookie tight end from San Diego State. After a gain of 11, Cowboys offense dug out of a hole. Romo's sideline pass incomplete near the first down marker for Des Bryant. Let's check in again on the Vikings and Bears with Kurt Menefee.
Well, Minnesota's offense hasn't scored a point, but they got a 105-yard kickoff return, and then Jared Allen sacks Jay Cutler, scooped up by Brian Robinson. He takes it 61 yards, 14-14. They're tied despite the lack of offense. Chris and Tim?
Thanks, Kurt. A frenzied pace to this game from both offenses. They hurry to the line on 2nd and 10 from their own 37.
And you can see Kansas City's defenders, some hands on the hips. Tony's wearing them out with this up-tempo.
Pass for Jason Witten. His first catch of the day. 815th in his career. And that ties him with Shannon Sharp for second on the NFL's all-time list for catches by a tight end behind Tony Gonzalez.
Man, he's just going to run the in-cutting route, and you see right there those numbers. I'll tell you, the biggest thing about the no-huddle for me in the up-tempo is it's great, and you take it out of the defensive coordinator's hands, and your quarterback game planning against guys in the generic coverages. But most importantly, Chris, it tires out the pass rush. There is nothing harder in pro football than rushing the passer versus a no-huddle, because you got to rush, run to the ball, rush, run to the ball. You're about half the player after about 4 or 5 plays.
And the sun has come out now. It's a little bit warmer here in Kansas City as they measure to see if Witten came up with the first down catch. And it is a Cowboy first down. Jason Witten, an 11-year veteran like Tony Romo. They've kind of grown up as Cowboys together. And Witten telling us he's an elite quarterback. I know you're judged on wins and losses and playoff games, but Tony creates a lot more and does a lot, and we have faith in him.
There's such a chemistry factor between those two guys. As Jason said, he knows Tony Romo inside and out. You play that long and that many hookups, it's like playing with your brother in the backyard. You know his game.
First down Cowboys from their own 47.
Let's see, no Des Bryant in the game. Let's see if they want to send the pressure.
Dwayne Harris comes back to the football. Around midfield, he made the catch and stayed in bounds. And that combo of Romo to Witten in all those years, no tight end and quarterback have connected more.
That's
over
amazing,
the years.
right? That's amazing when you think of all the good quarterbacks and tight ends that were together, and 524 completions. As I said, like playing with your brother in the backyard, you don't have to think about it. You just do it because of the familiarity with each other's game.
Second down 6 from the Kansas City 49. pass at midfield to Witten, and he'll lose yardage. A quick tackle made by Eric Berry from the safety spot. It'll bring up third down. We have reached the 2-minute warning here in Kansas City. All the highlights and scores of the Visa halftime report coming up, and Cowboy fans will like that the Redskins are getting blown out by Green Bay, and the Chargers are leading the Eagles. Giants play later in the NFC East. 2 timeouts for Dallas remaining on 3rd and 8. Romo. Incomplete. Knocked away from Jason Witten by Kendrick Lewis. 4th down for the Cowboys.
Yeah, Kendrick Lewis played this the whole way. You see him here. Watch him break up on the ball. Ball comes out a little late. Jason Witten has to wait for it. Tony Romo didn't unload that one on time, but at the end of the day, it was Kendrick Lewis who had a good burst to the football that got the pass breakup.
Chris Jones working on his 3rd punt here. McCluster moving up to the 15-yard line. Fair catch waved for and has it. Kansas City will have that. We got some guys going at it beyond the play down here. It's a 35-yard punt, no return. Everything's good. All right. No flags. Let's take a look at why they got a little heated. 2-on-1. That's not fair.
That isn't fair.
That's a takedown. The official right there to
into the kick return player. 1st down, Kansas City.
Now the Chiefs having to use those timeouts earlier, Tim. That hurts them here. You see the little bubble under KC. They only have 1 timeout remaining. Andy Reid will have to be creative here with 1:47 remaining in the half. And the Cowboys, if they play enough defense with 2 timeouts, might get good field position if they can stop the Kansas City offense.
Alex Smith's just got to get to his checkdowns quicker. He's holding the ball too long. It's really that simple. Cowboy rush is getting to him.
Caught right at the 23 as Sean McGrath falling forward. Free agent tight end who was with the Seahawks, and they hurry to the line.
And it's clear the Cowboys are pretty locked in on their coverage. Not a lot of open receivers down the field for the Kansas City Chiefs, so it's really about the tight end running back checkdown game for Alex Smith.
Caught for the 1st down and knocked down is Jamal Charles. Clock continuing to run, 1:15 and counting. 3 wide receivers in on 1st and 10.
And the criticism certainly of Alex Smith in this Kansas City offense is big strike down the field ability.
He has to get rid of that. The pressure applied once again. And that stops the clock at 58 seconds. George Selvey was in, keeping the heat on Smith.
That's the impact of Rod Marinelli for me, the defensive line coach, former defensive coordinator in Chicago, former head coach with the Lions. Is Rod's going to make your defensive line better. There's Coach Marinelli with the glasses there. He's going to make your defense better, period, just with effort and desire and hustle. But what I love about him with his techniques is he makes average players better. I've never seen George Selvey or Nick Hayden, a couple of backups, there's Hayden there, play so good as pros.
Anthony Fasano not in the game. Pass wide open. Sean McGrath, he is in the game and has a 1st down at midfield. A 22-yard completion, and the Chiefs are going to use a timeout.
You see Alex Smith looking off the secondary, knowing he's coming back to the tight end and hooking up for the big 1st down. And really, you want to, ideally, you'd love a touchdown, but drive him into field goal range, your offense, and give your kicker, Ryan Suckup, an opportunity. They'd have to get to about the 36-yard line, Chris, for his career long of 54 yards.
Jason Garrett, who spoke very highly of a friendly working relationship with Andy Reid through their years when Andy was at Philadelphia. And there is Ryan Suckup, the Chiefs field goal kicker. No timeouts now for Kansas City.
I think Andy Reid is a huge mentor for Jason Garrett throughout his career. I mean, for many years.
But on the opposite sidelines here, in a new look, Big Red.
Is this the 29th time old Big Red, now wearing red, is matched up against the Dallas Cowboys? Big Red.
Smith gets caught for a gain of 8 by Donnie Avery. Not quite a first down, but they're trying to get in field goal range with that clock running.
Gotta spike this baby. There you go.
34 seconds remain.
Now, with no timeouts left, you'd love to see Alex Smith work the sideline, get it out of bounds. But I'll tell you one thing. You look at special teams coaches, Dave Tobe, the special teams coach for the Kansas City Chiefs. This number is critical in terms of the 34 seconds. You've got to, there's Tobe right there. You got to have 16 seconds, really is kind of the universal number, Chris, with no timeouts left and a running clock to get your field goal unit out on the field to have a field goal opportunity.
Right now, you're looking at a 61-yard field goal try. It's second down, 34 seconds remaining. Smith at the 40, falling forward for a first down is Jamal Charles. But the clock is running, so they can spike it here. 20 seconds and second down. We mentioned that Ryan Suckup did not attempt a field goal in the opener, but his career long of 54 yards. He's made 8 in his career over 50.
You see there with time remaining at 20 seconds, it's going to have to be a quick 4-second play to where they have that 16 seconds left, or they're going to have to throw towards the sideline and get it out of bounds.
From inside the 40 of Dallas, right now it's about a 57-yard field goal try. Sideline throw is incomplete for Dwayne Bowe. Bowe over the last 3 years has accounted for a third of the team's receiving yards. But in the early going, some defenses have taken him away.
I think the Cowboy rush has gotten Alex Smith uncomfortable. He hasn't been his usual self, Chris, with all the accuracy in the short to intermediate passing levels.
On third down, Alex Smith almost intercepted by Bruce Carter, and he would have had clear sailing. Smith was trying to get it to Sean McGrath, and it's going to be fourth down, so Jason Garrett will watch Andy Reid send out his kicker.
Now you see there the ball again, just like we saw Romo earlier, comes out late on those option routes with those tight ends. You got to throw that ball in anticipation of them making their cut. They can't sit and wait for it. It's going to get undercut. Lucky that one wasn't intercepted for a 6-point house call.
A 57-yard try. This will be his career long if he can make it. Ryan Suckup. And that's blocked. Now the Cowboys have it in Kansas City territory.
Scandrick around the corner.
Rich Bisaccia, a special teams coach, part of the Rod Marinelli, Monty Kiffin group from Tampa Bay, getting it done for Jason Garrett.
And he's coming from over here. That's an awful job by the tight end, the wingback, McGrath. I mean, you got to step down hard inside, but step out outside even harder to get a hand on that outside edge rusher. That was perfect from Scandrick. That's a big block. All the momentum to the Cowboys.
And Alex Smith couldn't get the Chiefs closer, so obviously a long field goal. More time to develop, making it difficult on the kicker. And a good look at Scandrick getting in to get his arms up. The Cowboys are going to get the football to start the second half, but wait a minute, with 7 seconds and 2 timeouts, you try a Hail Mary?
I might just send 88 down the field to throw it up and give Des Bryant, who's up here, an opportunity to go win a rebound and get the football.
Des Bryant already 100 receiving yards in the first half. And a touchdown catch. Romo incomplete. Tony Romo with a touchdown toss. 13 out of 18 in the game so far.
And Tony looks good in this game and loved his command of the offense and the ball distribution. You think of his first 5 completions to Des Bryant. His last 8 have been to 6 different receivers. So he is spreading the ball around, doing a nice job of that. been impressive watching him here, and let's give the O-line some credit. I mean, this defense had 6 sacks last week. They've got 1 in this game on Tony Romo. O-line playing well.
With just 3 seconds remaining, unless they get a penalty. Well, it's maybe an offensive penalty. Alex Smith, 12 out of 23.
False start. Offense, number 72.
That's on the rookie center, Travis Frederick.
5-yard penalty.
And for the viewers at home thinking, where's the 10-second runoff under a minute for the offense? It doesn't happen unless the penalty stops a running clock. The clock was already stopped. No runoff.
Thank you for clarifying. You can give that Pereira guy some tips.
Well, you can talk football. I can talk officiating.
During the break. All right, Cowboys, they have the lead. They're going to get the football here at Arrowhead. The last decade, the Chiefs are just a 500 team, 40-40 record here in Kansas City. But Andy Reid has different ideas. Kurt Menefee has all the highlights with the Visa Halftime Report.
I'm going to Kansas City. Kansas City, here I come. Well, I might take a train, I might take a plane, but if I have to walk, I'm going just the same. I'm going to Kansas City, here I come.
Tony Romo and the Cowboys have joined Kansas City. They'll get the football to start the second half at a 3-point lead after they trailed 7-0. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to iTunes.com/NFL. We heard that music moments ago. Little Richard with Big Tim, Tim Wright, Chris Spires. We have Jen Hale down on the field. Glad you're watching the NFL on Fox. Andy Reid and Alex Smith bringing a revitalized approach to Kansas City in the offense. But so far, the Dallas defense has done its job.
Yeah, Dallas came to Kansas City and brought their quarterback and top receiver, Des Bryant, who were on their game, and certainly brought their defense. They've looked outstanding.
Dwayne Harris will down it. Cowboys take over an offense at the 20-yard line. You know, during the week, Jason Garrett and Tony Romo were quick to point out to the Cowboys, Tim, last year they started with a big win over the Giants, but went on the road to Seattle. Fumbled early, noise, the Avalanche, they lost that game. They said, we're not going to let that happen again. So far, so good here in Kansas City.
No doubt. Tony Romo spreading the ball around, started red hot to Des Bryant. They have not gotten a lot out of the run game with DeMarco Murray, but love the ball distribution by Tony. And then, as impressive as he was, the defense, for me, more impressive. I mean, 109 yards of total offense for Alex Smith and the Chiefs. 3 sacks, and 2 of those by their best player, DeMarcus Ware.
Romo to throw and complete for a first down. Right back to how it all started for this offense. Des Bryant with his 6th catch of the game, and that puts him well over 100 yards. The total yardage, the time of possession, close.
Yeah, this is really the big number, because once they eliminated Alex Smith as the runner, and he was lighting the Cowboy defense up in the first quarter, as soon as he was eliminated as a runner and they forced him to be a passer and staying in the pocket, it's been a different game.
DeMarco Murray trying to find some running room. Knocked down.
DeMarco Murray, the ball carrier.
His 9th carry of this game. Now, when he carries 20 times or more, the Cowboys are 8-0. They're 2-8 when he doesn't. And last week against the Giants, he carried 20 times for 86 yards.
Rough sled today. You see right there, not even 2 yards of crack.
Des Bryant, bottom of your screen, lined up against Brandon Flowers, the best cover corner Kansas City has.
Man is getting chewed up by Des Bryant in this game.
On 2nd and 10. Romo, middle of the field, wide open, getting across the 40 is James Hannon, who all of a sudden has become a target, the second-year tight end from Oklahoma.
We got to give the Cowboys offensive line a lot of credit. I mean, Tony Romo, other than that sack by Dontari Poe, and we can just count 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004. 4 seconds to unload a check down to the middle of the field. This offensive line, Jason Garrett said it, coming off the Giants game, it's the best we have pass protected in 4 years. And it's held up today against this nasty Kansas City group who's been neutralized.
3rd down and 2. He's throwing and catching for the first down at the 45 is Des Bryant. Des Bryant was a guy, Stephen Jones was telling me when they drafted him, they knew there were some problems away from the game, but because of his athletic skill, they said, we'll get him in here, he'll handle it, he'll mature, and they've seen it happen season after season.
Yeah, it's obvious that this guy physically, and now it's all lining up mentally in terms of his game and how he sees it. He's a great player. Also impressive with this crowd noise, how there's been no miscommunication issues. Tony Romo's got him dialed in.
Blitz is coming. Romo's throw right on target to Bryant, who fights for another Cowboy first down.
And this blitz is coming from no man's land all the way back here. You're going to see him come. Look at the late blitzer with Quentin Demps right there. Tony Romo sees it. Des Bryant versus the off coverage, just runs the out route. And it's not supposed to look that easy against heavy pressure. Tony Romo's making it look easy right now to his #1 wide receiver, already having a huge day.
Des Bryant is 6'2". He's been working against the 5'9" Flowers much of the day without a lot of help.
Let's go, yellow lady! Yellow lady! 180!
Murray straight ahead. Tony Romo 17 out of 22 for 182 yards and the touchdown to Des Bryant, and has not been hit very much.
No, it was the one sack. Remember, he came into this game with ribs from getting cracked against the Giants last week. Took a pain-killing injection before the game. One big sack by Dontari Poe. Other than that, Tony Romo has not been under a lot of pressure.
Des Bryant checks out. Dwayne Harris comes in. 3 wide receivers. Second down. Murray. It'll be third down. DeMarco Murray, his first 2 seasons in the NFL, he missed 9 games because of injury. There's no question about his running and now his pass catching ability. He just has to stay healthy.
Yeah, that's really all there is to it. I was shocked on draft day he lasted as long as he did a few seasons ago out of Oklahoma because of that skill set as a receiver. This guy had hundreds of catches out of the backfield when he was a Sooner, and it's held up when he's been healthy here with the Cowboys.
They hurry to the line. Lance Dunbar in as Murray catches a breather. On 3rd and 3 from the 37 of Kansas City. A lot of pointing going on. Romo for Williams. He caught it. The rookie from Baylor. Working on Sean Smith over there.
How about taking a chance on 3rd and short, and you see the isolation coverage. He's just going to run a fade route on the big corner, Sean Smith, and Tony Romo takes a shot. Heck with the first down. Let's go for a big one and punch it down near the red zone. Sean Smith never turned to find the football.
Terrence Williams had won the 3rd receiver spot, but after some mix-ups last week, Dwayne Harris going to get more time in that area. But Tony Romo talked to the rookie about trust and reliability. And now at the 17 of Kansas City. Dunbar gets the carry and goes straight ahead. Lance Dunbar down to the 5. Dunbar missed the opener with a bruised foot. But spelling DeMarco Murray here.
They catch the Kansas City Chiefs in a stunt up front, which opens the initial lane for Lance Dunbar, and then he runs through an arm tackle of Kendrick Lewis. Watch the stunt here, and it opens up the running lane. Right there, look at that big lane, and then there he just shakes down Kendrick Lewis and runs through him and gets it all the way down to the 5-yard line.
1st and goal after a gain of 12. DeMarco Murray back in. 3 wide receivers. 10th play of this Cowboy drive.
See if they toss one up over here to Des Bryant on the fade route.
Romo looks that way. He's in trouble and goes down. Coming up with a sack again, his 2nd of the game. That's Dontari Poe.
We've seen Poe twice come right up the gut on Travis Frederick, and that was a bust in protection. You cannot have breakdowns in protection when you're this close to the goal line. Travis Frederick turned left, slid their protection. Poe comes back across his face, and nobody blocked Ontario Poe, who's having a big game.
Backed up to the 12, already 3.5 sacks in the season for Poe. Second and goal. DeMarco Murray, bottom of your screen as a receiver. Nobody's on him. He's waving his arms, and over there is the football. Murray puts a move on and gets knocked out inside the 5-yard line.
You know why up-tempo at the line of scrimmage, quarterback handling everything offensively at the line of scrimmage stresses out your defense. I mean, these guys, Derek Johnson doesn't know if he's coming or going. Murray's out there saying, hey, I got it, throw it to me. And is able to really nullify all the yards they lost on that sack and get it right back down inside the 5-yard line.
And so, Tim, from the 4-yard line, it's third and goal.
You got to take a shot. I mean, if they're going to stack everybody inside, you got true one-on-one coverage, take a shot to Dez Bryant.
Dez Bryant was at the bottom of your screen.
All-star offense, number 65. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
That's on Ronald Leary, the left guard. There's that Kansas City noise of 80,000 plus, creating problems.
Man, this atmosphere is awesome, isn't it?
It's been fun all day. So backed up at the 9.
You got everybody up here, and then Dez Bryant down here all by himself to the left side of the field.
Fakes the run, throws to Terrence Williams, who's brought down at his 4th down.
I don't like that play call at all. Number one, you get close to the goal line, anything where it's going sideways, allowing a fast defense to get in pursuit. I think they'd have been much better off taking their chances with a one-on-one matchup with Dez Bryant and the physical disadvantage Flowers had out there trying to guard him.
You know, the Cowboys went to practice at their stadium, AT&T indoors, cranking up noise where it can be really loud so that they could prepare for the noise, whether it's a silent count. But you saw Romo speaking to everybody on the line who could hear him. So now a 30-yard field goal try. And Bailey delivers. He's 2 for 2. Remember a missed opportunity that was blocked when Kansas City tried a field goal. And so Dallas, despite the frustration of Dez Bryant, who was left alone, they add to their lead, and they're up by 6.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By Chevrolet. Check out the all-new Chevy Silverado at the Silverado versus All event. By Miller Lite. It's not just a good time, it's Miller time. And by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you've got to get DirecTV.
After the 30-yard field goal, Jason Garrett has a 6-point lead.
And missed opportunity, and that, to me, Jason Garrett didn't call that play. Bill Callahan's calling him, but that's when Tony Romo's got to change at the line of scrimmage. I mean, you got a dominant matchup with Dez Bryant against Dez Flowers. Already 8 catches, up over 100. You got to give him a shot.
Kyle Davis back in the end zone from the 20-yard line. Kansas City and Alex Smith will take over, trailing 13-7. Jim Ryan, Chris Myers, Jen Hale back in Kansas City, and the workhorse Dez Bryant, already 8 catches, doubling what he did in week 1. And the leading receiver in this game, 128 receiving yards and a touchdown, but was open. And Romo didn't go there, so they settled for 3. On first down from the 20. Alex Smith to throw for ball. Short of the 30-yard line. It'll bring up second down. Alex Smith is the leading rusher in the game. He has tied a career high with 49 rushing yards.
Since he's been unable to run, though, he has been diffused in terms of his impact on this game. I don't think we've seen him yet put the ball up over the top and try to get it behind the defenders of the Dallas Cowboys, not taking any chances.
Jamal Charles. Looks like that has first down written all over it. So far in this game for Charles, he's only run the ball 5 times, and he has a couple of catches. The first drive, Kansas City took the opening drive 77 yards for a touchdown. It is a first down. And since then, they only have 90 yards of offense. Sideline throw from Avery. And that's incomplete.
I'll tell you what forced the errant throw was George Selvey getting push on the right tackle Eric Fisher right in the face of Alex Smith and really closed down his vision point. Here's Selvey here. Watch him get the push on the right tackle Eric Fisher. And really, Alex can't see where he's throwing or unload the ball with the proper rotation that he wants because of that push right there from that defensive end, George Selvey.
Go. Hey, Casey. What we got? Casey. No. Mike. All right, Edie.
From the 31-yard line, catch made by Charles, and he's knocked down right away by Barry Church.
They are winning the chess match against Alex Smith right now. Pre-snap, Alex Smith is looking at this defense, and he is seeing two deep safeties. And Barry Church and Will Allen are doing a nice job of holding their disguise. See, this is what Alex sees, and then watch as the play comes. You're going to see Church creep and crawl up inside, and he is going to go tackle this for a minimal gain.
And Barry Church told you, I'm a roamer. This defense is perfectly suited for me.
And that's the whole thing those safeties have to be able to do. It's sleight of hand. They've got to be able to disguise and win that mental matchup against the quarterback and what he sees pre-snap versus post-snap.
And he was seeing pre-snap pressure by the Cowboys. We're going to have a timeout by Kansas City. They had to burn too early in the first half.
Welcome back to Arrowhead Stadium, where we have been monitoring the sound level, and it is topping 106 decibels, practically a rock concert down here. Nobody knows that better than the Cowboys offense. Coach Jason Garrett told me at halftime they have been preparing for this all week. They're keeping the play calling simple right now, and players are double-checking each other to make sure everybody knows the right call. Chris, get ready for them to rely on the run game more heavily if needed.
All right, thanks, Jen. Yeah, it's like being at a NASCAR race without earplugs. It's really loud in here. Calming down a bit for the Kansas City offense.
When are they going to take a shot deep and at least put this secondary on notice that they're willing to do it?
On third down, middle of the field and open. Donnie Avery. That's going downfield at the 37 of the Cowboys.
Now this is all Alex Smith. You're going to see Avery come back and hook up. And Alex Smith just is able to extend the play and the deep zone, playing deep, and Avery made a nice break underneath to get the big first down.
And they hurried to snap it and get it to Jamal Charles after a 31-yard pickup. Donnie Avery, one of those 9 new starters and 30 new players that came in with Andy Reid and Alex Smith.
Man, and finally had a breakout year. I remember when he was drafted coming out of Houston, he was the fastest receiver in the draft and came in and had an injury right away. Certainly reemerged last season and getting an opportunity here. Right now may be a good time. I mean, come on, take a shot deep. Let these safeties know you're willing to attack the perimeter deep down the field. These guys will certainly be less active and creeping up in the box and having a big impact on the run game and the short pass game.
Alex Smith to Jamal Charles. Oh, what a hit that he survived. Knocking Claiborne out of his way.
Maurice Claiborne already came in with a shoulder injury, Chris, and he's wearing that harness and just got trucked by Jamal Charles. Listen to this.
You can hear the clank of the shoulder pads.
Oh, my goodness.
Left shoulder dislocation last week. It popped out. He came back in against the Giants, but
I go right after him right now.
Charles here. Alex Smith goes the other way. Incomplete. Was trying to get the ball to Dwayne Bowe.
Well, and Alex Smith wanted to go after him. You could see he looked up there, saw A.J. Jenkins, the former 49er, matched up on Maurice Claiborne. Claiborne was in good shape in terms of the coverage, and Alex Smith's just not going to take a risk if a guy's got blanket coverage on him. It's that simple.
26-yard line of the Cowboys. Last week, Alex Smith put the ball up 34 times, had a couple of touchdowns and no interceptions. In fact, the Cowboys, number 6 turnovers last week. So far, no turnovers in this game.
See if they get him moving the pocket a little bit to get away from this pass rush.
Anthony Fasano. The former Cowboy tight end with a first down catch down to the 12-yard line, a 14-yard pickup.
There's the pressure by Durant. Alex Smith sees it right away and unloads it to what they call in this offense the peak routes. I mean, a lot of offenses call them the hot routes. It's the blitz beater, if you will. They call them peak routes in this offense. Little peek right there to Fasano for a big first down.
Impressive drive. Kansas City overcoming a 3rd and long after that timeout. And now on first down. Pass to Dwayne Bowe. Touchdown. Kansas City.
Played. Watch these windows open for Dwayne Bowe right there. Sean Lee out of position. Justin Durant out of position. Alex Smith lets it develop and throws a very nice ball. And Anthony Fasano down again in the end zone.
Dwayne Bowe's first touchdown catch of the young season, giving the Chiefs the chance with the extra point here from Suckup to take the lead on the Cowboys. High snap. But they do have a 14-13 advantage. Bowe had a career-low 3 touchdowns last year.
And this touchdown executed so well. There's the magnet. Anthony Fasano is going to run an out route. You got Bowe out here who's going to come inside. But watch the shoulder pump of the quarterback, Alex Smith, and really pulling the defense to Anthony Fasano. Right there, you saw it. Sean Lee out of position. And it just opens up that window for the incoming route of Dwayne Bowe for an easy touchdown. Very good play call, executed even better.
Alex Smith with now 4 touchdowns already this season, 2 in this game. And that drive, as Dwayne Bowe leads the fan chant here at Arrowhead, covering 80 yards and 4 minutes to give Kansas City the lead in its home opener.
And Anthony Fasano, who was down in the end zone, did get up, Chris, and run off the field under his own power. His biggest role that time was decoy Leroy. You go out, they're going with you. Quarterback throws a pump fake, and Dwayne Bowe makes him pay for it.
Well, the big play was the 3rd down downfield throw to Donnie Avery after the timeout, and then the touchdown toss. So here is the kick. See if Dwayne Harris has a chance to run this one back, and he does. Dwayne Harris across the 31-yard line, setting up the Cowboys. And Tony Romo, a 34-yard return. Again, the NFC Special Teams Player of the Week. Never be without football. Get coverage of every NFL game on NFL Mobile. Call ** NFL to download. That's **. And that star on the helmet shining brightly today up against this frenzied crowd that is much more in it now that their team has the lead. Pass is caught by Miles Austin across the 40-yard line. Two-time Pro Bowler, and again, his first start was here in 2009. I remember Jason Garrett saying how proud he was of not only the record-setting yardage for a Cowboy receiver. When you think of guys like Michael Irvin and Bob Hayes, the most of his opportunity. Now it's 2nd and 1. DeMarco Murray tries for the first down.
DeMarco Murray, the ball carrier.
Romo 20 out of 25 for 219 yards.
Heck, he's 7 for 7 here in the 3rd quarter. Look at that.
Each team producing points after a 10-7 halftime game.
How about 64 right there? Brian Waters in there playing offensive guard for these Dallas Cowboys. 11 great years here with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Was out of football, originally signed by Dallas. Romo, after the fake, goes to the tight end, James Hanna, who has room but is brought down by Flowers, or he would have been into Chief territory.
Watch big Brian Waters gets in the game. They're going to run a little screen. Watch him try to get down here, lead the way, and chop down one of the old Kansas City Chiefs. Well, you're not going to see it there on the replay. That was well played there by the Kansas City Chiefs, but Waters getting down there and trying to chop down those defensive backs.
Marcus Cooper has come in for Sean Smith at corner. He's lined up against the rookie Terrence Williams. Lance Dunbar is the back. Let's see if Romo tries to take advantage. Underneath to Dunbar, who falls for the first down. The ball is out, and the Chiefs are on it. Eric Berry. First turnover of the game.
It looked like Hakeem Jordan right there with his left hand knocked it out. The question is, was any part of that right leg down by Dunbar before that ball comes out? That is really close.
They review all change of possession, all turnovers.
Oh, this one is tight. You watch that right knee as it touches the ground. Had that ball started to come loose, this one's got to be reviewed without question, and it will be upstairs.
Carl Madsen, the replay official. Jason Garrett hoping it's called down.
Oh, yeah, that right knee, it was so tight. Here's a better look at it right here. It looked like it started to come out just as that knee was touching down.
Kansas City football, fumble and run back for Eric Berry. First down, handoff Charles. He may lose a yard. George Selvian on the play. Selvian, amazing story, as you talked about performing in this defense. A former Ram, a Panther, a Jacksonville Jag, was out of a job. He's been with 4 different teams over the first 4 years, but has come up big in this defense.
Guys like that love to get with coaches like Rod Marinelli because they just enhance their game. That stunt, that's the old classic stunt Tampa used to run with Monty Kiffin. Executed perfectly here with the Cowboys by Selby.
That is the end of the third quarter. The Chiefs lead the Cowboys 14-13 with Tim Ryan, Jen Hale, Chris Myers. We're glad you're watching. Fox NFL Sunday continues after a break from your local Fox station. Kansas City Chief defense with a takeaway from the Cowboys as we open the fourth quarter. A couple of touchdown passes for Alex Smith. A touchdown toss for Tony Romo. We welcome those of you who are watching the Packers and Redskins. Tim Ryan, Jen Hale, Chris Myers. The Chiefs home opener. Kansas City after a turnover. They have a 14-13 lead in Cowboy territory. Alex Smith's throw is incomplete. It'll be third down, intended for Dexter and McCluster. A quick recap in the Kansas City Chiefs home opener. Alex Smith has equaled a career-high rushing. His touchdown pass here gave Kansas City the lead on the opening drive.
Yeah, and then here comes Dez Bryant.
8 catches, 128 yards in the game, including the touchdown. And moments ago, Dwayne Bowe, his first touchdown of this season. And when Dallas was driving, Eric Berry came up with a loose football, and that's why Kansas City has it where they are.
Yeah, and knocked out by Hakeem Jordan on Lance Dunbar, the backup running back.
And fighting to go down at the 22 is Junior Hemingway, who had a touchdown catch in the opener for Kansas City. And it's not quite a first down where they spotted it at the 22. So Ryan Suckup will come in to line up for a field goal.
Hemingway just got lit up on this hit here as he's going down being tackled. You see shoulder to the helmet right there. Not a defenseless player as Will Allen took a shot on him because he was certainly well into his football move after the catch.
Suckup will try from 40. He had a kick blocked at the end of the first half, a 57-yard try. High snap, but he gets this one away and nails it. Andy Reid, who has more wins against the Cowboys than any other coach, has a 4-point lead here in Arrowhead.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Chrysler, imported from Detroit. By KFC, the official sponsor of Couchgating. KFC plus football equals Couchgating. And by Bud Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL.
We welcome you back, and Jason Garrett trying to get the Cowboys to 2-0. First time since 2008 if they can pull that off. And Andy Reid, after 14 years in Philadelphia, familiar with Garrett and the Cowboys, trying to equal the win total of Kansas City for all of last year.
How about
That's what's
that?
on the line. Dwayne Harris will down it. Tony Romo and the Cowboy offense taking over at the 20-yard line for Andy Reid, the home opener here in a new surrounding. Cowboys trailing by 4. A first down from the 20-yard line. In 13 of the last 17 games, the Cowboys have been decided by 7 points or less. That's the most close games of any team in the league during that stretch, and they're in another tight one, 8-5 during that stretch.
And hasn't it historically come down to a big play by Tony Romo or a big mistake late in games?
He fakes and throws to Hannah, who falls for about a 4.5-yard gain. Just trying to make something out of nothing. Tony Romo has now completed 10 passes in a row.
And this is the most pressure they've had from the outside on Tony Romo. Really in this game is Tamba Hali runs around Tyron Smith and forces Romo up inside, who really makes something out of nothing. That's where I've been most impressed with these Cowboys. And Tony Romo with the completion percentage, which is rocking good right now. But this offensive line, especially out on the edges, has done a terrific job versus Justin Houston and Tamba Hali.
You see the hand signals because of the noise. And that pass, what a catch in a crowd for a first down. Gavin Escobar, the rookie tight end.
That's just a super job of communication from the quarterback to the tight end, and you're going to see the pressure come off the side here with Tamba Hali. Tony Romo sees it the whole way, as does the second-round pick Gavin Escobar, who adjusts his route, looks inside, takes a big shot, but not until after he picked up the first down.
From the 33-yard line, DeMarco Murray, the running back. 12 carries, only 25 yards today.
And let's remember, Des Bryant was smoking hot in the first half of this game, matched up one-on-one on Brandon Flowers.
Romo's going to keep it and fall at the 37-yard line. Des Bryant with 8 catches for 128 yards and a touchdown. Beat a lot of single coverage early.
Well, you could add another 30 on top of that if he didn't get the offensive pass interference call early in the game, which was a bad call by the officials.
Second down 6. Sean Smith is back in at one corner. Brandon Flowers is on Des Bryant at the other.
There's the matchup right there at the top.
In the slot is the rookie Terrence Williams, number 83. Pass goes to Williams. And let's check in for a game break with Joel Platt.
All right, thanks, Chris. And to Green Bay, where the Packers are all over the Redskins. Eddie Lacy out with a concussion early in this game. James Starks, 32-yard touchdown run. 38-7, Chris. Pack up.
It's so loud in here, Joel. I don't know what you said, but it's a third down and 5 for Dallas.
This is one area where Dallas has really struggled today. 3 of 8 on third down.
Blitz coming. Fumbled. It is a fumble. That's the ruling on the field.
Yeah, it was a fumble. Ron Parker knocked that ball out before Tony Romo had the arm going forward.
It's a sack fumble. Ron Parker caused it, recovered it.
And watch the pressure come from up here. Tony Romo's clock in his head's got to go off. He's got to realize that that pressure coming from the top, especially with those fast guys, you held the ball too long, and Ron Parker just ripped it out. That'll be a sack and a forced fumble. And a fumble recovery, it looked like, for Ron Parker and the trifecta. That is a huge play.
We just mentioned close games, and the Cowboys involved in more than any other at a 7-point difference. And you talked about either Romo making the big play or making the big mistake.
And look, give him a lot of credit. He's been protected well by his offensive line today. And they are reviewing it upstairs. Of course, a called turnover.
First
But
down,
Tony Romo
Kansas City.
has been at it long enough that clock in his head, that internal clock, when you get to about 3 seconds and they're sending those fast guys on pressure, you got to unload the football.
It is confirmed that Kansas City has recovered the football. 2 turnovers in the second half, 2 fumbles by Dallas. That's why they don't have the lead anymore. And Kansas City with a chance to tack on to their 4-point lead from the 35-yard line of Dallas.
Jamal Charles going to get a false start.
False start. Offense, number 25. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
The energy in this building for the Chiefs home opener. A 2-win team last year. 4 Pro Bowlers on defense. 6 total Pro Bowlers. And Andy Reid comes in. They bring in Alex Smith at quarterback and have a chance to start out 2-0. Charles is brought down. What a play by Hatcher. He'll lose yardage. The front 4 of Dallas, which has had Anthony Spencer playing today. George Selvey active.
And there's Hatcher here. And just watch him as he locks out on the left guard and then just disengages. I mean, that's back to his old 2-gapping days where you play right down the middle in that 3-4 defense that they ran under Parcells and Rob Ryan. And now in a 4-man front, a 2-gap technique right there, and his experience in it paid off. That's a big tackle for loss.
2nd and 17. Smith has run for more yards today than any other game in his NFL career and has a first down for the Chiefs.
And Anthony Spencer.
I'm sorry, it's 3rd down. He got close to the first down marker. It's 3rd down.
Anthony Spencer has absolutely got to keep contained. You know, Alex Smith, especially early in this game, killed you with his legs and extending plays. And Anthony Spencer, who's been a part-time player here today with the Cowboys, decided he wanted to take a peek inside. And as soon as he did, Alex Smith beat him out the side door for the contain buster and getting big positive yards.
Spencer's first game back this year after the surgery. 57 yards rushing for Alex Smith. He leads everybody. And there is a sack from Bruce Carter. It's 4th down and field goal range with a big question mark.
Alex Smith's got to see that. You got both inside linebackers mugged up here in the middle, and Carter just blows by Jamal Charles.
What a play, because the 4th sack of the game erased any field goal possibility. Colquitt is on the punt.
And we've seen that a couple of times today where Monty Kiffin has just dialed up that inside pressure on Alex Smith. Sean Lee the first time, that time it was Bruce Carter. Both times ended up being big plays, destroying Jamal Charles in protection.
Would have been a 58-yarder had they decided to try and kick the field goal. Instead, they're going to play the field position game. And Harris has it at the 15-yard line. Always a colorful atmosphere in Kansas City. Optimism running high with a new sheriff in town.
Today's game is sponsored by the Samsung Galaxy S4. The next big thing is here.
And the Kansas City Chiefs sideline fired up, hoping to protect the quarterback just a little bit more. They had a chance in position for a field goal, but the sack knocked them out.
Yeah, and that's Brandon Albert, the left tackle, who was injured early in this game, getting his troops fired up. Big missed opportunity, as you said there, with the 3 and out.
Tony Romo. Incomplete. Here comes a flag. Miles Austin was in the area.
And Miles Austin looked like he ran the wrong route, ran an in-cutting route. Tony threw it to the outside, but it looks like they're going to get a foul here on the defense.
Holding. Defense, number 27. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So it's on Sean Smith. It'll move the Cowboys up and give them a first down. Romo has completed 12 passes in a row.
Yeah, and there's the hold right there as Miles Austin was trying to put the brakes on and come back. Sean Smith just wrapped him up on the upper body and restricted him. That's a good call.
That 12 in a row for Romo equals his high for consecutive pass completions. The next one would set a personal mark from the Dallas 21-yard line. Right now, he's more interested in getting some points.
Clearly, Kansas City's worried about Des Bryant beating him deep. They got to run Des Bryant on some of those shallow crossing routes and let Tony Romo find him.
Blitz coming. Knocked away. Tyron Smith going at it with Dontari Poe, who has a couple of sacks in this game.
And watch the linebacker here take away this slant throw. Tamba Hali comes on the pressure. Derek Johnson is going to jump right out the inside linebacker and get in the throwing lane to cloud it up for the vision of Tony Romo.
For Des Bryant, he's in and out of his hands. He had it at midfield.
That's a great throw from Tony Romo. Jason Garrett knows it. Another missed opportunity. Little stutter and go route for Des Bryant. He slowed down right before that and then turned the juice back on. Ran away from Flowers. The ball hit him right in the hands. And he just flat out drops it.
Can't blame Romo for that one. After a field goal to start the second half, the last two drives of the Cowboys ended with turnovers. Now it's 3rd and 10. 6 defensive backs in for Kansas City.
What'd you say, Chris? I can't hear you.
I wonder if Romo can. Sideline throw incomplete. The Chief defense digs in, and now Dallas forced to punt.
Now, there's just nowhere Tony Romo was going to go with the football in terms of an open receiver, and his back against the wall on their own 20-yard line. He was not going to take a risk. He just threw it away. A punt's okay.
Chris Jones to punt, standing at his 6-yard line. Dexter McCluster, who's capable of breaking one, has it at the 30. A knockdown at the 36-yard line. A 49-yard punt and a 6-yard return, but the Chief defense putting its signature on this game. Andy Reid, those years in Philadelphia, when his team wins the turnover battle, look at how lopsided things are in the victory column for the first-year head coach in Kansas City after 14 with the Eagles.
Now, the good coach knows how to play with the lead. Hopefully they can get their run game cranked up here with Jamal Charles.
2 fumble recoveries in the second half for Kansas City. Now they have it at the 36-yard line.
And you know you got to trust a guy like Alex Smith. Ball security is what he does best.
Blitz coming. He unloads. Jamal Charles gets across the 40. And let's check in for a game break with Kurt Menefee.
All right, well, the Eagles offense slowed down a little bit this week, but this is still pretty. Michael Vick hooking up with Deshaun Jackson, 61 yards on the touchdown, tying it at 20. The Chargers have added a field goal. They lead it by 3 in the 4th. Chris and Tim?
Thanks, Kurt. Obviously, Chief fans interested in what the Chargers do. The Broncos play later against the Giants. The Raiders play later against Jacksonville. Incomplete off the hands of McCluster.
Skandrick was all over that. That's a blessing that was incomplete, because Skandrick would have tackled Jamal Charles for a loss. The best thing about that is Charles would have, if he would have caught it, would have picked up no yards, Chris, but this thing would have kept running right here in terms of the clock.
You see the bubble below KC, the Chiefs with 2 timeouts remaining. Dallas, all 3 of theirs. Just over 8 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. 20 out of 35 so far for Alex Smith in the passing department. And he's run for more yards than any other player in this game in 57.
There's his matchup, Fasano right there, the tight end.
On 3rd down, he goes the other way. And slipping the tackle is Charles. Sean Lee came out with the football. They call him down. Let's see where the spot is. That's a big first down if he got it.
It's going to be close. Boy, but Bruce Carter's got to break down. I mean, Bruce Carter came flying out of nowhere. We're going to get a measurement here with Jerome Boger.
What do you mean by break down?
Well, you got to break down and make the tackle. Look at 54 just run right by Jamal Charles, who just, you know, bends down a little dipsy-do and undercuts Bruce Carter. Bruce Carter comes up with a wide base and breaks down. He makes that tackle long before the first down mark.
A big third down extra effort from Charles from Port Arthur, Texas. That's where Jimmy Johnson of Fox is from. Also Janis Joplin. I'm sure they're watching down in Port Arthur, Texas.
Jamal Charles grew up a huge Cowboy fan too, by the way.
Well, he said he was more an Emmitt Smith fan.
Yeah.
The Cowboys were the rival name of a team he played against. There's the fourth down distance. So despite Jamal Charles' effort, Andy, who has been known for a trick play now and then.
And they're having a discussion here on the sideline.
Yeah, now remember they have already used one timeout here. So you don't want to burn. Looks like they're gonna go for it. At least line up that way.
Right, this is risky. Maybe they'll try to draw the Dallas defense off sides with a long count. You're Alex Smith. That's an old classic trick that Andy Reid has pulled out a few times. I can't imagine on your side of the field in a 4-point game
at home,
you not getting it, and the Dallas Cowboys, 45 yards away from taking the lead if they can score a touchdown.
Sounds like you would punt it. Each team with 3 penalties so far in this game. So right below the 46 of Kansas City. Inches for the first down. From the shotgun. Now under center.
He'll try to draw him off sides. Get a delay game, more room to punt.
You know Andy Reid well, and so do the Cowboys and Jason Garrett.
You know what they call that? Holding your water. Hold your water on defense. Chris, what does that mean? Hold your water?
You can hold my iced tea during the timeout. 17-13 with just over 7 minutes to go.
Look at Andy, a little smile on his face. We tried. What the heck?
He's enjoying himself.
I'll tell you what he's enjoying, to be honest with you. He's enjoying coaching again. And so far, so many years in Philadelphia, he kind of got away from the coaching. And I think a big reason why he didn't hire Marty Morton-Henwig as his offensive coordinator, really his comrade for so many years, is Andy wanted to get back and teach this offense again, which he is really enjoying doing.
Colquitt standing at the 26 of Kansas City. Now you still could try a fake here. Looks like we have a penalty flag.
Offense, number 54. 5-yard penalty. Fourth down.
Desmond Moses called for the infraction. Colquitt went to the Pro Bowl.
Now that's 10 yards of hidden yardage right there. I mean, you took the delay of game on the big fourth down, and then you get a penalty on Moses. Now that's 10 hidden yards that could pay dividends for the Cowboys.
And Dwayne Harris, who has sparkled for the Cowboys on special teams, one of the backup receivers standing at the Dallas 20. What a kick. Oh. Wow. There's a flag down. Nobody drops it inside the 20 better than Dustin Colquitt in the history of this league. But from that distance, it's even more amazing.
Well, someone, the official on the sideline has his hat off, which tells me someone was out of bounds and didn't angle to get right back in.
And if that's a member of the Chiefs, that spells disaster on what was a 64-yard punt that stuck right inside the 3-yard line.
And let's see what this call is, because the ruling is now that
illegal touching. Kicking team, number 31. The kicking player went out of bounds, came back inbounds, and was the first to touch the ball in the field of play. And because this foul occurred inside the 5-yard line, the result of the play is a touchback.
That's Marcus Cooper, and now it's a touchback.
And that's just a young man's mistake. And you saw him step out of bounds right there as he was trying to get to the football, then step back in. By rule, can't be the first guy to touch it. And that's just being young. I mean, undrafted free agent and picked up off the waiver wire from San Francisco.
That's a difference of 17 yards. Sets the Cowboys up on their own 20-yard line. Welcome to the booth here at Arrowhead. Tim Ryan, Chris Myers, Jen Hale down on the field. You've talked about Tony Romo's ownership of this offense this year with the play calling adjustment. A terrific spot for him to rally his team trailing by 4 on the road.
Absolutely, and we said it earlier. Is it a mistake or a big play by Tony Romo for his football team? I've got a feeling he's going to snap off a big play. He's played well today.
behind Miles Austin, but he went back and caught it for a first down, getting across the 30-yard line. Now, Des Bryant has been shut out in the second half here, Tim, for the most part. That's the third catch of the game for Austin.
Well, they haven't gone to him a lot, and the one big one down the sideline on the last drive, he just flat out dropped. That's what Tony Romo is going to do now, ownership of this offense. He sees two guys covering Des Bryant. Now he's matched up one-on-one. Up here, Tony typically is going to go to the receiver that's got the better matchup. But I throttle this one right to 88 at the top if I'm Tony.
That's where he's going. And what the catch is made for another first down, following at the 44-yard line is Des Bryant.
I mean, you just can't win if you're Brandon Flowers. You play the upfield shoulder, and they're going to throw the backdoor throw on you. Watch Des Bryant. Flowers playing upfield. There comes the back shoulder throw. That's easy pitch and catch. Now you want to play from a trail position, and I can guarantee you Des Bryant's got the speed to run away from you, and Tony Romo will put it up over the top.
13-yard gain. First and 10 Cowboys. They're trailing by 4. Time from the pocket. Unloads to Jason Witten. He falls down short of the 49-yard line. Justin Houston ran him down.
Well, there was nobody open because they were limited, Chris, in the number of receivers and weapons down the field, because Kansas City lines up in what looks like a pressure package with the two inside linebackers up at the line of scrimmage. They force the Cowboys to keep their running back and tight end in for max protection, and then they just drop out. They ended up with 7 defenders really on just 3 targets.
But the good news is the Cowboys at least got 4 yards.
Correct.
To make this manageable on second down.
Yeah, good patience by Romo throwing to the check down.
On 2nd and 6, DeMarco Murray has a first down. He's inside the 40 and goes out of bounds near the Kansas City 35-yard line.
And the Chiefs weren't even ready. I mean, there's defensive linemen still standing up. You get no pressure on Tony Romo, surveys the field, throws the check down to the running back, a lot of space around him. DeMarco Murray's going to pick up a lot of yards if you don't have people up in his face as he catches the ball.
A 17-yard gain. He's the second leading receiver behind Des Bryant for the Cowboys. 4 catches for DeMarco Murray, who's only run it 12 times today.
All right, now they've got Miles Austin's got a nice matchup out of the slot.
Here comes a flag. Cowboys.
False start. Offense, number 17. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
That'll back him up. The call on Dwayne Harris. So now 1st and 15 from the 40. And coming up after the game, it's the State Farm postgame show live from Los Angeles. Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, Jimmy, all the highlight scores, the big plays, and the personality that only they can bring you. Redskins are getting blasted. Cowboy fans like that. The Eagles have gone in front of San Diego in the NFC East. High and incomplete. Des Bryant was getting ridden hard over there by Quentin Duffs.
Now that's just not a good throw by Tony Romo. I told you, you got to get Des Bryant going on some of these crossing routes. And Tony really didn't have a lot of pressure on him. I mean, he stepped up and just threw an errant ball high and behind Des Bryant.
Now 2nd and 15. You see what Tony Romo has done when the game is on the line. Four-man rush. Intercepted. Picked off by Eric Berry. There's a flag down inside the 30. And it's going to come back, it looks like.
Holding. Defense, number 29. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
The call is on Berry.
Yeah, who was on Jason Witten, who was the target from Tony Romo And there's Witten there, and he's just going to run and just hook up this deep hook route. Let's see what Eric Berry does. 29 playing inside leverage. Oh, Witten beat him back across his face. I didn't see a hold. Maybe some illegal contact.
Ooh. First down. 4 new downs for Dallas at the 35 of Kansas City. Romo's throw. That was almost intercepted.
That's Abdullah, who's actually played well here for the Kansas City Chiefs. Tony Romo late on that throw. You throw those out routes now, you better put them out in front of your receivers with those big safeties playing from a trail position. Lucky that one picked off. And I'm telling you, Bob Sutton has decided, just watching these last few plays, the defensive coordinator for Kansas City, they are putting 2 guys on Des Bryant, the corner, and then a safety over the top for deep help.
Dallas has,
there it is right there.
They've ditched the running game on 2nd and 10. Miles Austin incomplete. Now it's 3rd and 10. You're already looking at about a 52-yard field goal.
And it's interesting how they're really pushing the tempo with plenty of time here on the clock. I mean, you almost want to take your time and get the best play call in for the situation. This is all on Tony Romo right here.
We have a timeout.
Timeout, Kansas City. They're set.
Chiefs have 1 timeout remaining. They must have seen something here they wanted to make an adjustment on. And that's what that hurry up did.
Yeah,
the defense.
That's probably the silver lining of Tony Romo in this situation, playing the hurry up offense.
I know you're having a good time now, Tim, but wait till next week on Fox NFL Sunday. The Cowboys will take on the Rams. Andy Dalton of the Bengals get Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. There's other regional action. It all starts with the Fox NFL kickoff show, 11 Eastern on Fox Sports 1, followed by Fox NFL Sunday at noon Eastern on Fox, wherever you're watching and however you're watching. We appreciate you being with us. Post-game highlights on Fox Sports 1 from around the NFL. 3rd down, 35-yard line. They need 10. Des Bryant is trying to the right side of Romo, bottom of your screen.
And they got 2 over 1 on him. Miles Austin's got to beat a safety. It's really that simple.
Pressure picked up. The pass incomplete for Witten. Now you got to decide on a long-range field goal.
Yeah, not so sure about the adjustment because here comes the pressure. They could have easily had Miles Austin just on an easy little slant route, a little vertical route. Instead, they ran a crosser with Jason Witten, and not a good throw by Tony Romo.
Dan Bailey to try a 53-yarder. He's already made a 51-yard field goal in this game. The holder is the punter, Chris Jones. The kick. And he got it. The Cowboys tighten things up here at Arrowhead. It's a 1-point game with under 4 minutes to play and a career long from Dan Bailey of 53 yards.
And if you're Andy Reid, now you're thinking about what you need to do to keep the football for the next 3 minutes and 50 seconds in this game. And it's real obvious. It's about a running game with Jamal Charles, which has not been an easy road to hoe for him today. And then Alex Smith with a controlled underneath passing game.
Well, it could also be about Alex Smith running the football because
Absolutely.
He is the leading rusher in this game. And you said we would see the read option from him. He's very protective of the football.
You know, that's a great call, Chris, in terms of we haven't seen it since the first half. We might see the traditional read option, a play in which the Kansas City Chiefs started this game with.
Opening drive, Kansas City went 77 yards, got a touchdown. Dallas came back, took the lead. Des Bryant with a touchdown catch. Field goal since for Dallas. Dwayne Bowe has a touchdown catch from Alex Smith. Chiefs with a 17-16 advantage. They only have 1 timeout remaining now, which might come into play if Dallas gets the ball and the lead back. Here's Bailey. Niall Davis he fumbles the football and got it back.
Oh. Close to a catastrophic error for a guy who's had ball security issues in college and coming into the NFL. Holy cow. I mean, this one just bounces right off of his chest plate. Nobody in front of him knew the ball was on the ground. You see all the blockers, Sherman, all those guys up in front of him. And he was fortunate to get that back before Harris was able to get the football of the Cowboys.
It took an arrowhead bounce for the rookie from Arkansas, the backup to Jamal Charles. But field position now for Kansas City at their own 16-yard line. The Monty Kiffin Dallas defense you've been bragging about all day, Tim, is hoping to come up with a big play here. No takeaways for the Cowboys today.
And they are stacking the line. There's that read option.
Charles keeps stopped short of a 19-yard line.
He was tackled by George Selvey.
Cowboys are going to use a timeout here. They'll have 2 remaining.
And you're going to see Alex Smith here in the read option, the 2-back read. He's just going to turn it, put it in the belly. You saw his eyes right there on DeMarcus Ware, the outsider defensive end in this 4-man front defense for the Dallas Cowboys. And as soon as he saw DeMarcus Ware up the field, he just turned and handed it, going back the other way to Jamal Charles.
Alex Smith has played a error-free, low-risk game. And now with the ball up at the 19-yard line, it's going to be 2nd down and 7. Chiefs have 1 timeout, Dallas has 2, and of course you have the 2-minute warning. If you're going to put the ball up here, you're Alex Smith, you have to be extra careful.
Yeah, I think it's all about ball location. If you're running the slant and in-cutting routes with your receivers down and low to the inside, or just let them clear it out and throw the check down to your tight end or your running back.
Charles is the leading receiver for Kansas City today with 8 catches. He gets the carry and fights for the first down. A big run from Jamal Charles.
Now, I'll tell you one thing. You get a cutback run, you better defensively stay on your feet. Watch these guys over here, in particular George Selvey. As soon as Selvey gets chopped down to the ground and Jason Hatcher gets pushed, watch the lane open up for Jamal Charles as he cuts it back right there and is able to pick up an extra 5 or 6 yards.
And Dallas had to use their 2nd timeout, Tim, so they just have 1 timeout remaining, and then again the 2-minute warning.
And that was a huge play for the Kansas City Chiefs, who have not gotten their run game cranked up all day.
And that was the best run of the game for Jamal Charles. He has 10 attempts for only 22 yards, but as I said, he's been their leading receiver in the checkdown department. 28-yard line of Kansas City. Andy Reid trying to play keep away from the Cowboys. Charles has room. First down.
Boy, Anthony Fasano may have gotten away with a hold here on DeMarcus Ware. There's the key block, and let's see if he restricts DeMarcus Ware from getting to the outside. Yeah, he did. You see that right hand wrapped around the shoulder pad of DeMarcus Ware, who could never get outside to stop Jamal Charles. If you're Jamal Charles, Chris, you got to go down and stay in bounds. Keep chewing that clock.
His 2 best runs of the day have come on the last 2 plays. That was a 16-yard run, so they're up at the 44-yard line. And it's Charles. There's a flag down as he gets to midfield and into Cowboy territory. The Cowboys trying to stop Kansas City's offense, but the Chiefs have at least flipped the field position.
Yeah, Jeff Allen and Anthony Sherman just trucked.
Illegal shift offense, number 82. 5-yard penalty, replay, first down.
The call against Dwayne Bowe. That stops the clock on the penalty, obviously, and backs him up inside the 39-yard line.
Self-inflicted wounds, Chris, in big situations can come back to haunt you as the play clock is stopped once again, conserving time for the Dallas Cowboys if they do get the football back and try to make a comeback.
Kill.
You heard kill. Charles. A healthy chunk of yardage back up to the 45-yard line. It'll be second down.
Not a lot of people are playing with the fullback in this league anymore. They went out and got Anthony Sherman from the Arizona Cardinals, and watch this lead block on that guy right there, Sean Lee. Booth just clearing it out for Jamal Charles to pick up some much-needed yards.
He got 6. Dallas uses its last timeout. And in the last 3 carries, Jamal Charles has put up nearly 30 yards. Now, this year, no fumbles. He has had in the past a history of fumbling the football, and the Cowboys do, of course, prey on takeaways, or at least that's one of their new mantras. They don't have one today. They need one here. Tony Romo hoping for another chance.
9 from the 45-yard line.
Charles has room again and gets to the 49-yard line. It'll bring up third down.
Boy, I am surprised, and we've seen Kansas City here with a couple of issues trying to keep that clock running. Jamal Charles running out of bounds, the penalty on the illegal shift by Dwayne Bowe on a running play. And they haven't really maximized using the play clock. And that play clock,
you mean you take it all of it
up. I mean, chew as much as you can up on that play clock if that clock's running, the game clock.
There's a lot hinging on 3rd and 5.
You see the play clock here, they should be running that thing all the way down to 2 or 3 seconds. Now they better hurry up.
Here comes a flag.
That's a huge error.
Yeah, maybe that's why they didn't take it to the limit.
That's a huge error.
A veteran quarterback.
Before the snap, delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, replay, 3rd down.
We should be inside the 2-minute warning for the Kansas City Chiefs here, who have certainly had issues keeping the clock running, Chris. Jamal Charles running out of bounds. The 2 penalties with a running clock. Not good. Those things will come back and get you.
And now 3rd down, 10.5 we'll call it. And the Cowboy defense can give the offense another opportunity with a stop here.
And this is where they thrive, on an errant high throw from a quarterback, so they can just pick it off after the tip.
Pass is knocked away. Here comes the flag. All over the back of Donnie Avery was Morris Claiborne.
Ooh, I don't know. And this is going to be a tough call. I'm not so sure Claiborne had a significant
pass interference. Defense, number 24. Start of the foul, automatic. First down.
I don't know if he had a significant effect on Donnie Avery with the ball in the air. Can't see it right there, but Donnie Avery just looked like he fell down. Unless Morris Claiborne grabbed him with that left hand around his back and turned his body, I didn't see that call.
We have had some debatable calls from the officials on pass interference this afternoon, both offensive and defensive. But what's important now from midfield is 4 new downs for Kansas City, and the Cowboys have no timeouts. Charles
stay in bounds.
He does just that. We'll have the stop at the 2-minute warning.
Let's see another look at this pass interference by Morris Claiborne on the in-cutting slant route by Donnie Avery out to the right of your screen. Still couldn't see if Claiborne actually had material effect on Donnie Avery when that ball was in the air.
It didn't look like it at that point. 2nd down 10. We have reached the 2-minute warning. The Chiefs have the lead, and they have the football.
The pass interference, bottom of your screen, Morris Claiborne. Remember, 5-yard chug zone, you can get your hands on him, but is that ball, once that ball's in the air, was there contact from Morris Claiborne? It did look like his left arm was up on the shoulder of Avery, which affected him. Good call.
On 2nd down, Charles carries. Let's do the math. The Cowboys without a timeout. You figure you run on 30 seconds each play. Even without a first down, Dallas would get it with maybe 20 seconds, 15 remaining, depending upon what is chewed up here. But a first down by Kansas City seals the deal.
Gain of 3 yards on the play.
Clock continuing to run at 1.5 minutes on 3rd down. Play clock down to 2. They get it off in time. Charles is stopped short.
Charles on the carry.
And it is 4th down for Kansas City from the 41 of Dallas.
Tough decision if you're Andy Reid. I mean, conventional wisdom would just say punt it away.
They're going to let the clock run as long as they can and maybe use their last timeout. So the play clock, you see the difference. Right. 10 seconds will come off, and
so they'll have about 30 seconds left. If in fact the Dallas Cowboys, I mean, if Kansas City chooses to punt it, Dallas will have about 30 seconds.
I would think, Tim,
to return it.
I mean, it's only a 1-point game. A field goal beats you. You got to punt it if you're the Chiefs.
Yeah, I agree with you.
They're going to take a delay of game, and with 29 seconds, the Chiefs will line up to boot it away to Dallas, trailing by a point. Coming up after the game, the State Farm postgame show live from Los Angeles. Highlights of all the games today, including the Packers outscoring the Redskins. Chargers and Eagles locked up in a wild one. Colquitt standing inside the Kansas City 40. Dwayne Harris back at the 10.
You die for a block punt right now for the Dallas Cowboys.
Colquitt gets it away. Fakes the catch, and he sticks it inside the 5-yard line. What a weapon Dustin Colquitt is for Kansas City. And why in the heck was any Cowboy going near that ball after it dropped? A 42-yard punt that was well placed.
Yeah, I don't know what Dwayne Harris is doing with about 7 red jerseys around the football. He goes in there and tries to pick it up late on the 1-yard line.
We mentioned close games. The last 17, no NFL team has been involved in more close games, 7 points or less, than the Cowboys. And here they are again.
Got a couple of options here. Number one, Tony Romo's going to have to extend the play with his legs, but you can throw a deep one towards the sideline, get yourself in better position to throw the Hail Mary, or just run the whole hook and ladder play.
DeMarco Murray has it and gets knocked down near a first down, but the clock is running.
I don't know about that play call.
If they don't spike it, this game is over.
This game's over.
Kansas City is 2-0. Equaling the win total for all of last year. And Jason Garrett, for the 2nd straight year, after the Cowboys open with a big win, they lose on the road to fall to 1-1. Time ran out on Romo and the Cowboys. Andy Reid and Alex Smith play it close to the vest and come away with a 17-16 victory.
Yeah, for that 2-0 start, no turnovers once again, 2 weeks in a row for Alex Smith and the Kansas City offense.
Couple of touchdown passes for Alex Smith. And when they needed to chew up the clock in the 4th quarter and change the field position situation, they did just that. For Jen Hale, Tim Ryan, I'm Chris Myers, our entire crew. Let's head to Tom Brenneman and check in on the Vikings and Bears in Chicago.
On his first